We're painting these homemade stacks today, boys. Everybody loves these stacks and a few people hate them. This is 6-inch square tubing, 3/16 inches wall, and they got diamonds up top, boys. It's pretty dope. Do people still say that? I don't care. But anyway, yeah, you can see it's rusted up pretty good. Down here on the bottom especially, up top not too bad. But I give her a fresh coat every year at rustoleum high heat. I can't find anything else better. So we're going to do it again. This time we're going to put some primer on there. Rustoleum high heat primer, and then the rustoleum high heat final coat. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Before I start, I need a face mask for all those rust particles that are going to be in the air, face shield to protect my eyes, some gloves, don't want to get my hands tore up, ear protection, and my grinder with the wire wheel on it. And of course my paint. We got primer and the final coat. I got this at Lowe's. And I have just a random assortment of wire wheels. This one right here is pretty good. These are all made for a drill though, and a drill doesn't really spin fast enough for what I'm doing. I even got one of those things, whatever you call that, paint and rust remover disc. We're going to use a couple of these, and I'll show you what for later on. Before I did anything, I went to the car wash and cleaned up those exhaust stacks. They were pretty dirty. It just kind of helped knock loose a lot of the crap on there. The instructions say you can apply this between 50 degrees and 90 degrees, and as long as the humidity isn't high and of course it's not windy. You don't want to be spraying in the high wind. You don't want to be wasting most of your paint. So these instructions that are like impossible to read, they're so small. They just say to remove loose paint and rust with a wire brush or sandpaper until the metal is completely bare. We're not doing that. That would take all day to get that metal down completely bare. You would need a sandblaster for that, and I'm not going to rent out a sandblaster just for this. Or you would need to put a grinder wheel on that grinder right there that I'm using. I don't want to do that. That would also take forever, and it would take off material as you're doing it. And then the finish would look like crap because there would be marks where you grind it all over the place. Or you can use rust remover gel, which I saw at AutoZone, but I think the only way that stuff really works worth of crap is if you're putting it flat on the surface with the surface facing up. Pretty much every single picture I saw that somebody had posted, it was facing up. That way the gel or the spray didn't have anywhere to go. If you're putting it like vertically, I would imagine it would just drip down. It wouldn't even have a chance to take hold. I saw stuff you paint on there. I saw stuff you spray, and a lot of the reviews said you had to do multiple coats. No, I don't want to mess with all that. And the wire brush on that grinder, it's so stiff, it doesn't really get into the welds, so that's why I got the drill out with this attachment here. It's a little more flexible. So here's my work so far. I've just reached everything I can get from the ground. Got to get the ladder out for the rest of it, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. That drill really helps out with the flexible wire wheels, getting those welds. And yeah, you can see the difference right there. And I didn't even notice till I watched this. It does have a little bit of pitting right there, you can see, just a little bit. That's probably because the water maybe sits on it, plus all that heat comes up, just burns the paint off. And here comes the Rust Mafia and all the people who say things like,
"You're supposed to leave it factory."
And I never can get up in behind here, it's just too tight. I'm not taking the whole thing apart to get in there. You know, maybe if I could have found one of the neighborhood kids to do it, of course, then they would have wanted $20. The frustrating thing is you can't see nothing back there, so you got to go by feel. And you can use a mirror, too. That's how I had to weld up all this stuff. I was resorting to drastic measures at this point, so I got out the old belt sander with some 80 grit. No, that didn't work very good at all. You know, I didn't think it was going to work very good, but, you know, I had to try it. Why not? And since I couldn't see behind here, I just filmed it. That way I could see my progress. But more than anything, I just use feel. You know, you could just touch it and see how smooth it is and go from there. That's about all you can do. But ultimately, the best thing for behind here, which I was trying to avoid at all costs because I love power tools, was this 80 grit sandpaper. And this worked really well, actually. And from this point and on up, I could pretty much just sand everything. There's no need to bust out the wire wheel for that. It's not really serious. The rust isn't that bad at all. But everything pretty much from here on up is pretty easy. Hey, and if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. Drop me a comment or just hit the like button. I appreciate everybody who subscribes to the channel. It wouldn't be where it is today without those people. But as you can see here at the top of the stacks, the paint is still in pretty good shape. You know, it's probably because there's not a whole lot of heat up there. So now I'm going to wipe off everything from the exhaust with this acetone. That way the paint will have a good clean surface to cling to. And since I'm obviously in a well ventilated area, there's really no reason for a mask or a ventilator. And there's also no reason for some gloves. I feel like the glove police are going to get on to me for this. I'm really not even touching the acetone since I got the rag kind of balled up. But if you're only using it in small amounts for a short time, no big deal. You know, it's not like I'm working in a nail salon all day breathing in fumes. You guys ever been in one of those places? You about pass out when you go in there. But no, this is totally different. I honestly kind of like how it looks like this. It's like a patina finish. If they made like a clear coat that was high temp, I might just try it out, but we're just going to go with the flat black. And then here's the painting process. Hey, I was just wondering, there's like 3 different styles you can do for videos like this that are sped up, time-lapse videos. You guys let me know in the comments which one y'all like. You know, this is just one, of course, with a voiceover, but then you also have ones that are sped up with music playing, where basically all the sound effects are muted and you have music playing in the background, which would basically be something like this. And then you have the ones with only sound. There's no talking, there's no music. And those videos generally get a ton of views, but a lot of times the videos with the most views aren't always the best videos. So I'm more concerned about quality. And here's how that would go. So after you paint, you have to wait 2 hours before you cure the paint. It's a whole process with high temp paint. And I'm going to let my wife read the instructions for that because they're too small for me to see.
Run vehicle at idle for 10 minutes, then allow 20 minutes to cool. Run vehicle at idle for 20 minutes, then let cool for 20 minutes. Run vehicle at normal operating conditions for 30 minutes, then allow vehicle to cool.
So did you get all that? Well, the next day we had to do it with the other side of the exhaust. And the instructions also said there can be some off-gassing from whenever the heat warms up that paint. I didn't notice anything, but I guess I'm just used to smells like that, but my wife did notice it. It also said it can put out a little bit of smoke too. Anyway, guys, here is the final coat, and I'll just leave y'all with some music. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe.